you didn't have it in.
Then you would assess where you wanted that weight to fall, how short you want it to be at the end. But always remember, you've got to be careful this occipital bone.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it doesn't go above that. Even with short grad, you've got to be careful how short you take it around the occipital bone as well. So I would always say with this kind of style, it's better to leave it just below the occipital bone, the same bit. Okay, so obviously, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put another section in here now, so I can see, and I'm going to do it from the centre to the ears, because this is the section I'm going to be working on now. So on a curved line, following the shape of the head, because the head isn't square, is it? It's rounded. So I use a rounded section on this, and then I'm going to put this all up into another section. If I can get it all in one clip, which might be difficult with the length of it. Oh no, I think I can do it. Oh, I don't want to get it because I'll lose that. Can you just pass me that? Thank you. Put that up in there. Right, I've washed this. It's ended. So fun to see. What I am going to break that down because it's too big a section. Just subdivide there and there. And then put it up. Okay. And then this section is that. I might just need another clip. Oh, I've got some there. Thank you, Claudia. Thank you. Oh. So if I turn that around now, you can all see what I'm doing. I'm sectioning it.
Are you not on a straight?
You're on a curve. So on kind of a curve round like that. It is cool. Okay, and then this is the last bit. Can't say it's so cold, it's boiling. That heat that's coming out there is boiling.
My hands are like
She is
ice.
cold. You need gloves on while you're in here.
Just looks boring, my garden.
Once you all get moving, it gets a bit better for you.
Daisy's always cold.
Fisher,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's just because of my blood sugar.
Right, okay. So let me just check that's even for you. In fact, it's not. That needs to go up a little bit more. Okay, so I've a bit short. Yes, right. So I have there horseshoe, and then I've done a curved line. So I've got my bottom section, I've got a horseshoe there, and then I've got a horseshoe on the top. If that makes sense. Okay. So I'm going to start from the centre. And what I've got to do now, what you'll all be doing is, because we've already got a weight line in there that's coming on a concave, I'm just going to check the line in the middle, and then I'm going to bring it all straight out on 45 degrees. Just to get rid of the over-directed longer bits here that are already there. So I'm just going to, I might tend to, at this moment I've got it on quite that angle, can you all see? Can you see? I'm going to make it a little bit steeper. So bring it in as, pardon?
Are you bringing it back into the...
Yes, I'm bringing it back into the head bit. Because I want it to be a little bit more gradual. I don't want that heavy weight line as such there anymore. So I'm going to bring that into the head a little bit more. Now it gets harder the shorter you're working with. But I don't want to take the bottom too short, so it's mainly that middle section I'm putting. Okay? So I've got that. Now if you want to stand up and have a look, you can, because it gets a bit more intricate here. But here, I've got a guide, and I'm just following my guide is coming with me on a travelling.
It looks a bit off the 90 degrees angle.
Yeah, it's a bit less, it's not 90 degrees, because I've still got it coming in with it because of the head. 90 degrees would be like that flat, but it is a lot, it's closer than 45 degrees. If you did flat, it'd be here, because you'd have to be doing it to that length there. Yeah. But what'll make the difference the most is holding it straight out on its section base rather than over directing it. So we're doing it straight out. Taking your guideline with you.
So you're just pulling it straight out from the head?
I am, yeah, straight out from the head. And I'm just going to the bottom just to check there's no little, because the bottom bit will be over directed as well. So always make sure you go right down the section. Are you alright there, ladies? Please come stand up if you need to, if you can't see, if you lose. I could do with like surround television here.
Yeah, you need that camera on your head.
There. Yeah, that would be good. Do that. A bit like when you're on the bikes.
Yeah, like a head top.
Yeah. And bringing it all the way. And you'll probably see on that side, ladies, when I get there in a minute. To the edge here. So here you'll see, the ladies that can see, I'm taking more off here than I did in the middle.
Oh, yeah.
Because of that length, yeah.
So
So,
she shorter side to
so this
You
will
do the same all the way.
this will be the shorter side, but the back I'm keeping all the same length. It's only the sides that are going to be shorter and longer.
So then when it's dry and it falls over, it'll go on.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they want the back be the like not the same length as the old, like one side shorter than the other side, we have to just you said do the half straight cut and then the other part bring it like back.
If you want the
All
asymmetric
sides,
from
yeah.
the back,
Yeah.
yeah, so if you want, so I've just started from there and I've held straight out, and I'll be doing that here, so that my line will be straight here. If I want one side to go longer, which is that side, right, just say no, this side, the left, this side would be longer, so what I would do is I'd start there, short, with the length I want it to be around the ear, and then I'd bring each section to the section onto my guideline. I bring each new section onto my guideline, so that would get a gradual longer towards this side. But because I'm starting here and holding it straight out all the way around, following that curve, it'll be all a straight line. So then my asymmetric will start from the sides. But if I did it like that first way, where I'm keeping it asymmetric at the back, the asymmetric will start from the back. So it's like two cuts, isn't it? I'm doing a short grad at the back, and then I'm making it asymmetric at the front, but connecting it. You're not getting this, are you? Right, how can I put it?
I've got in my head. You were saying how you were from short to longer. So I thought when you were pulling that out there, and I thought it's at the short side, so you've got to this side even though
Right. I'm-
like that.
Okay, so at the back section is all going to be even.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a travelling guideline.
This is a travelling guideline, and I'm holding it straight out from the head. So I will end up with this with a straight line.
Yeah.
Here. Okay, the weight line will be straight. If I started off here, okay, and then over directed each section to the section before it, like this, that'll be your shorter side. Oops, shorter, and that'll be your longer side. Okay.
You wouldn't do them on the right.
We'll do what?
You wouldn't do that on the right. Like,
No.
I'm doing on this. I'm doing all the
But
same.
you can do them on the right.
Okay. So this cut can be cut like this or like this.
So we don't have to know that one, we can just focus on that one. That's all I'm gonna
Yeah,
do.
yeah, because yeah,
If
and
we-
not a lot of people want it like that from the back.
So when you're going to come to the sides now, you're going to pull one out normally and the other one you're going to bring back?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that makes
So
sense.
this back section that we're working on is all going to be even like this. So this cut I'm doing today is like this, and I'm doing that because next week when we do the short graduation, we work on that as well.
Right,
So
we can
not
just
to
ignore that
confusion.
whole-
Ignore that one. This is what we're doing today. But if your client says, oh no, I want it shorter here and longer here, then you have to do it that way. Where you'll start off here as your guide, and what the length will be on this side, and then your guideline will be stable, and you'll bring everything back onto it. Yeah?
I'm just not gonna offer that.
No, you're not offering that. Are you alright with this,
Yeah.
ladies? Do you want to
You won't
start
say
this?
very people with that now, but it's just not.
So, okay,
No,
but-
you don't.
I do.
And I would talk them out of it anyway if they did ask for it.
What for this?
No, that.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, that one won't
When
start.
you say I don't want to do short cut,
Yeah.
like, same clients sat there like, oh, I really want like a really short
Yeah,
cut.
just say that.
We'll
I'd
sit
rather
there.
I don't. Just say I'm not good.
You just say what?
What would you say?
No, I just say I don't really do that
Really?
much. I don't humble that image on you. Just post on social media what you want, or what you want to attract.
Yeah, just show the pictures. What you just say, that's not my speciality.
Yeah, and that's not really something I do.
I think you better go into somebody who specialises in short clothes.
Yeah,
And
somebody,
there are
if somebody
people-
comes to me and says they want hot pink hair, I don't really do stuff like that.
What's
So,
that?
Like really vibrant colours.
Oh,
hot
yeah,
pink.
no.
I don't dislike them, I just don't do them that
Oh, I
much.
don't
So,
There's a good place in Norwich that does though.
yeah, that copper and white.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's really good at that.
Yeah, it's meant to be really good.
Yeah. Right, okay. So if I cross-check this side now, it's all even. Can you see? I've got more or less a straight curved line on that side. If I cross-check this side from the other coat, it's not, it's longer. So I'm evening this up. But what I could do, no, not no,
No, no.
no, I won't confuse you. Alright. So I'm going to work on this side now. Girls, where can everybody see? Am I alright here?
Yeah.
Right, so I'm just going to check again. So there's my guideline. And I'm going to take my guideline with me and hold it straight out on my new section. Like so. Okay. And I'm going to work this all the way around to the ear. You can keep cross-checking if you want all the way around, just checking it's even with the other side, which it is, and just keep going all the way around. And as you can see, the angle's different, isn't it? So that was the angle it's been cut on, and I'm closer to the head here.
You kind of just like cut the top bit off.
You do, yeah. There might be a little bit at the bottom, like I said, if it's been over directed down there. So I am just, when I get nearer the ear, that'll probably come into play. So I'll just keep when I go down, I'll check. And you can always refine the bottom bit, remember, afterwards, as it with your scissor over comb. So if you want it shorter here, you can always go in a little bit shorter and taper it down if you need to. If they say, oh, I want it a little bit shorter than that. So I'm bringing it straight out on itself. I'm just going to go back now and cross-check, just to make sure. So you cross-check the opposite way, do you remember? Like this. Lifting it up and out. And I can check that that's all lovely and even now. Just going to take a little bit off that bit there.
Would you turn your hands like when you get to the edges?
Yeah, you can do
Like
so.
so straight, more straighter than on an angle.
I'd still do them on my angle like so. But what I do is, can you see, so I've done it that way.
Yeah,
Well,
but
then
when
I've
you
just
turn
turned-
your hands when, do you know what I mean? Like,
Uh-huh.
when you pull
That
it
way,
out and you should,
like that, or like that.
like say if you pulled your hand out and you've been cutting like that all the way around and you get to the edge, would you turn your hands?
Like that.
Yeah.
You don't know because that's like when you're doing your graduate. You no, keep it like that.
Right.
All right. When you're cross-checking, you'll just lift up that way. Right. So that's all nice and even. That is your very first. That is your first section done, and it's the most important. So if that isn't even, the rest of it won't be even. All right. So we're going to work our way up now to the crown. Okay. So we're just going to take your next section and follow your guideline from the bottom up to the crown, leaving your sides out at this present time. Well, you're actually working up to where your horseshoe is. And this is good for when we're doing the short grab, because you'll do this. This is exactly what you'll do at the back of your short grab. We just might go short. Okay. So going back to the centre. Are you sure you can see there, Claudia? So I'm back in the centre. Can you see, ladies, at the back here? So we're going to take this out, straight out. Now, can you see where my guideline is?
Yeah.
Underneath. Okay, so I'm following that. So straight out, and then cut it down. So I've got my guideline there. I'm twisting myself a bit because to make sure you can all see, so I'm just making sure that's straight. And then again, you just work from the centre to the ear on both sides. taking your guideline with you. And cutting on straight out from the head. You'll see it feels like you're taking a lot off when you get to these sides, but that's only because there's a lot of length there that needs removing.
Do you know how you can quite like clearly see the angle that
Yeah.
you're doing it at because of the previous cut? I feel like I'd struggle if it was longer, you know, trying to figure out where I need my fingers to be.
Yeah, so because this is already
Being cut.
in that
Yeah.
clear, it is always hard. So a lot of your cuts you'll learn by doing cuts that are already cut in that shape and following the line from before, like you say, really.
Yeah.
It just becomes when they say I want to restyle.
Oh yeah, if it was just like a one length bob, I feel like it would be hard.
Yeah, it would. So you've got to kind of, you could break it down then into, you could perhaps layer it a bit first
Yeah.
and then go in with your angles that you're using just so you get rid of a lot of the bulk
Yeah, okay.
of the hair. You could do that so you're not going to get lost, or you should still be able to put your own guideline in and follow that. It's just that you'll have a lot more hair to deal with.
To cut off, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess you could cut it quite short, a bit short.
That is, so it's like, you know, when a lot of people come in and they want to go shorter, they'll put it in a ponytail and cut it off
Yeah,
first,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
that type of thing, just get rid of a lot. So that's all cross-checked, and I've got a nice weight line there, and then I'm going to just come back this side. But Nicole, you're not the only one who doesn't like short cuts. A lot of people don't like cutting short hair now. They're frightened of it. Is that what you feel? What frightens you about it?
It frightens me, like, I just don't like it.
You just don't like it.
It does frighten me.
Someone come in and like, there's this one client who comes in and she's only a kid. And she has it like all shaved around the sides and stuff. That's what I mean, shave it on the side.
I feel more nervous
I feel
doing
like-
short hair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel nervous but at the same time I just don't like it.
I prefer colouring as well.
Yeah, I do.
I don't even like doing online.
And you'll find the thing you like doing, you'll be what you specialise at and you'll be good at
Yeah.
because you like doing it. So you understand it more. And I don't know what it is with cutting with me. I can do it, but I find it boring.
Yeah.
I'd rather be colouring and seeing a big difference.
Yeah,
with
same.
it,
me
yeah,
too.
and how it can
It's more
change.
creative, I think.
Yeah, it is very much so. And again, I've said this before. Now everyone just has long hair.
And colouring as well, I feel like it's different on everybody. Whereas if you do a bowl on 5 people, they're pretty much
The same.
always the same, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love some people with short hair. It just looks fabulous. You know,
Yeah.
you really suit it if they've got it cut really well. Like that, you know. Sorry, you weren't here before, but there's a picture. I'll have to get it up afterwards. You know, the Chinese lady that we were looking at with style dressing. That was just beautiful. That, you know, and a softer textured cut. But you've got to. Razoring's quite good as well, and I don't razor cut me. I only use it to personalise, to be honest, because I find it that you can't teach a full head of razor cut because you can't see a guideline. You can only, once you've been able to cut these cuts, once you know it, then you can use a razor because you know where your fingers should be, rather than the guideline
Yeah.
from before it. But I do think some shorter hair, especially coarser shorter hair, is better cut with a razor because it
Or
softens
some
it off.
people cut shape with a razor.
Yeah,
you
they
know,
do.
your shape.
Yeah, you do. Right, okay. So I'm now up to my horseshoe section. I'll show you now, okay? So I've reached where my horseshoe section is. So I'm just going to follow that line again, okay, all the way up there. So I'm just going to wet my hair down so the tension doesn't change. So next week when we're doing short ride, if we get to it next week, oh, no we won't. Oh, yeah we will. See where I'm up to. Then you will. You'll just follow this same pattern technique, what we're doing, alright, sectioning technique to get to this. So, you can at this point still stay on this angle with your fingers, and you just on a slight angle coming in. So can you see, even though I've got the shape, I've lost that heavy weight line there. It's moving up the head really, not got a big bulky bit. And exactly the same. Just keep holding it out from the head and cut. and do that all the way around in your sections. When I learned to cut, it was all short hair. You know the best people to learn shortcuts on is children, but little boys. That's how I learned to cut short hair. So this is still, I'm still on a slight angle, perhaps not 45, but I'm still coming away from the head. Can you see? I'm still not straight from the head. I'm on an angle still, like so. So it's still going to come like that. I'm going to have a corner that I'm going to cut off in a minute there. Okay. So this is still coming up the head. What will you do, Sophie? Will she employ you after your level 3, or will you
I'm
go?
employed now.
You're employed now?
Yeah.
So she won't want you to rent a chair?
I don't know, maybe,
Yeah.
I said that before.
I know, it's a...
But we just have like a meeting every year.
Oh, do you? Just
Yeah.
discuss the way forward?
Yeah,
That's good.
which is good.
And there's just the two of you, isn't there?
Yes. I'm gonna tell them hopefully.
When will you finish your level 3?
I'm due to finish it this summer.
Right. That'll be the time for her then, won't it? Because
Yeah.
that's when your wage will change.
Yes.
That's what you were on about. That's what...
Yeah, I'm 21 in November as well. Yeah.
The minimum wage has gone up then, hasn't it?
Yeah, I know.
For
I
21,
think
yeah.
it's going up in April, is it? Yeah.
Again, yeah,
Is it?
it's rising up again in April, like you said.
I'll let that down so you can see it on there. Right, okay, so can you see there now? Don't know if you can see, that's where my graduation's come up to. I'm getting rid of that really heavy weight line. Ow! That was a good chill. Oh my god, why did I do that? Right, and then I'm going to go here to this side. Ow! Oh, she's got grey hair.
It's bleeding.
You're bleeding, Joe.
Am I bleeding?
Yeah, looks like it.
It's just, I think I've gone to what are my layers of my skin called?
Dermis.
Dermis. She really has got grey hair, this one.
So bad.
There it is. Proper grey hair. I used to have a lady whose hair I did. And when I was blow drying it, every week she used to get me to pull out the grey ones. I said, you can't have none left.
Yeah, I know. They make it worse.
Yeah.
If you did that.
That salon's changed hands in Horwich. That used to be Dawn Marsden's, hasn't it?
Yeah, somebody's bought like that, haven't
I know, Dawn was so good.
they? Yeah. She's been there for a long time.
She has. Well, when I sold my salon, I sent all my clients there to her.
Oh, really?
She was, I don't know if they were married, or she was with the guy from the car wash across the way. She's
Oh,
got
really?
2 children with him, yeah. Because when I used to go for my hair doing there once I sold the salon, because that's what I used to do, he used to come and pick the car up and do your car valet.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, he used to offer that
That's
as a
a good
service.
business idea.
Yeah, it was a really good idea. Okay, so just following that guideline all the way around. I am just going to change my angle here just to get it a bit tighter. If I go that way, you might be able to see the angle better. Can you see it?
Yeah.
And then here.
Why did you go for your hair now?
I have well,
Did you find
she was she was one of my students. She was a level 3 student that I had many years ago, and she'd done hairdressing all her life, and she got a level 2 many years before,
Yeah.
and I think she did an apprenticeship. I never got a level 3, just built up a really good mobile around that she had, and she wanted to do teaching, and to teach you've got to have a level 3.
Yeah.
So she literally just came back to get a level 3 certificate.
Mhm.
I didn't need to teach her anything really, it was just a theory she needed to go over again. but she had the skills. And then she went to do teaching, finished the teaching qual and hated it. So I didn't do teaching, and she just then developed a freelance round, and she just comes to my house now because I hate going to the hairdressers. I hate it. I hate sitting in front of a mirror because I'll sit there thinking, you're not putting that in right, and then I'm thinking, you're not cutting that angle right. I'm terrible. So I'm better off without a mirror in front of me. She just comes, puts my foils in, goes, and I sit with my foils in and take them out myself in the shower and blow it myself because I don't like anybody blowing my hair.
She cuts it by you.
Yes,
Yeah.
but I have it cut dry,
Right.
and I have it cut dry because it being naturally curly, she can see where the curls are and it's straight. So she just cuts it before she puts foils in. Right, I can just see there through pulling out, because remember I'm on internal layers now. I'm going to have to check the length of the layers. You alright? So I'm going to do that, and I can see by holding it up and at an angle, this side's a little bit longer. Can you all see that? I'm protruding there and they're not on that side. So I'm just going to go back over this side just to check it. I'll come back down and she's not wild. Now you'll find with these dolls, as you see, there it is, I could see, that the hair just sticks out. The shorter you go, they just stick out. They don't lie flat to the head. So that's just something that these dolls do, and unfortunately, we have to.
Really heavy around the front line.
They are, and there's a lot of hair in there as well, so they kind of jump or it clogs together, doesn't it? Okay, that's better now. Right, so we can from here now, which I think we will do. We're going to go onto the sides, and we're going to leave that top out just for now because we're going to concentrate on the sides. So my parting was on the right hand side. Was it? Yeah. Okay, so this is going to be the short side. So do I over direct or do I pull straight out?
Straight out.
Straight out. Okay. So I find, now depending on how short you want this side, you might want to over direct it onto the section below it, for it, or you might want to just pull it straight out, depending on the result you want. I am going to just bring it onto the section before it, just simply because these dolls' heads stick out. And if it's just a little bit longer here, it's a bit softer on the hairline. So when you're doing your consultation and you're looking and assessing your hairlines, this will all dictate as well what you need to do, whether you need to over direct it, whether you need to leave it longer so that then you can feather it. Okay, so all these things come along with hairlines, consultation. So because I know these get heavier towards the front, I am just going to over direct it onto the section before it. Okay, because remember it'll spring up, that front bit is going to spring. Right, so first of all I've got to find my guideline from behind me ear, which is the guideline we're going to be using. Come straight out from the head. You'll be able to see from there. So I've got my guideline there. Everybody see that? So I'm going to use that guideline, bringing it with me, right to the very front of the hairline. Bringing it straight out. Now, I would point cut this from here on just to make it softer, but you're not going to see the guideline properly, so I am going to just club cut it so you can see the guideline. Alright, so we're going to straight down to the ear, bring that forwards, lift this section out, and just take it to the section before it. And take it straight down the back there. Okay, so now I'm creating softness here. I am taking really tiny sections because of the hair getting thicker towards the front. Anybody have any questions, or are you all okay with this so far?
So are you bringing the guy back forwards? Like?
Yes. So I'm still holding the guideline in the section at the angle it was at, but I am just slightly taking it onto the guideline, but only the one before it, not over directing it right back. Yeah. Okay. Oh God, everything's getting tangled today. And this is another thing that happens when the hair's long. Got to make sure that you're not getting tangled up. So out, like so. Got a really nice guideline in this. Always come all the way down just to check. Out. What I think I'll do is, because I do think this might take a little bit of time to get to this. Once I've done the other side, I think we're all going to cut it to this, up to the horseshoe. And then I'll bring you back. Or we'll do the top section next week. Because this, you really do have to take your time with this, and really small sections. Okay. Now if you want, I am going to just point cut these last two sections, just so you can see how it's done, if you've not already done it before. I'll lift it all out. Okay, and then I'm going to point cut, just to try and soften that edge a little bit. So it just, can you see how it just softens it a bit rather than blunt straight? Now, if you do that to begin with, then you can always decide if you want to cut it round the ear afterwards, or you can still tuck this side a little bit round the ear from there. So this is going to be a shorter side. So once you've got this length in, if you think, right, I do want it a little bit shorter.
How did you make it longer there? Did you just naturally do that because hairline goes lower?
At the front,
Yeah.
I did it by bringing it back onto each section before it.
Oh right, is that how long?
That's how you get it, yeah.
Right, okay.
Because if I'd have brought it back here, it would have been really long.
Yeah, yeah.
And if I'd have brought it straight out, that would have been straight.
Just one length.
Yeah, it's been like that. So yeah, just onto the section before it. Yeah. Okay. So if you cross check, I'm just going to cross check it this way. And you can see it's all nice and even then. And you can also cross check it this way just to check. And it should be even there. Now if you do want to shorten that bit at the bottom, you can do that by, if you lift that from the head, you're going to create what? Graduation, which is what you want, because if you want something to be softer, you create graduation. So I'm going to lift that up, and then I'm going to point cut all across there. Just visually, just to soften that edge. And then you've got to also do this bit, just to connect or remove that corner there. So you can then decide how short you want that to be by doing that, just keeping the bun shorter or like that length, you would just determine it. If you want to have a bit more control, you can use your fingers, and then use your fingers, and then use your point cutting, just to soften it all off around the edge. Okay, so that's your shorter side, and then we're going to do the longer side now. So we do exactly the same, except instead of holding out and back onto the section before it, we're going to come all the way back to behind here. So let's see on this section. So by taking that horseshoe out of the way, you're in more control of the section as you're on, you can see what you're working on. And that, you know, when you said about going from very long to short stuff there, that again is a good thing. Get half of it up out of the way of the hair, and just work on your sections you're working on. And work methodically, as they call it, really. So here I'm going to check where the guideline is behind the ear. Okay. Let's go in. You see there, find the guideline.
You're pulling this one back, aren't you?
I am, yeah. So I'm just going to bring that straight out. Find that guide, which is there. Bring it all the way down to the bottom. You alright? Can you not see?
No.
Are you dropping off asleep?
I think we cannot see.
Come and go over here if you want to come and see.
But
Do you want to move?
That's her place. So
Oh, it is, yeah. You might struggle, or you can come and stand up, it's up to you, but it's really difficult. Alright, okay then. Okay, I'll try and do it so you can see. So can you see here?
yeah.
Now I'm bringing it back to behind the ear. Okay? All the way back, not straight out. I am going to start point cutting this. Just because this will always, it'll be heavier. Because there's much more hair on this side. So I am going to point cut it, just to soften that edge off. Now, depending on how much weight, length you want to maintain, will depend on how far you bring this back or direct it. So I'm doing it just subtly really, and then I might take that shorter if I want to create that big difference. So, same section, take it right back to behind the ear.
She's thinking about that first section.
Yes, right back to your very first section behind your ear. Bringing it out. Try point cutting, because it'd be good for you to try point cutting.
So do you know when you're bringing it back, so like the black, like the side section on the first bit,
Yeah.
is it like a travelling guideline or do you take
It's a
every
stable
single
guideline.
Yeah.
So this will be stable and everything will come to it.
Thank you.
So it's not like going the opposite to what you started off with.
Yeah. So where you took it with you, this you're coming back.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so I've got quite, can you see the distance there now? Now because I've done it even at the back, you will end up with that kind of shape there. You know, like a bit, it looks like there's a bit missing. If you'd have done it longer towards this side, you wouldn't have that. So if you did start it from the back. So what we would do there is we would now do some scissor over combing there so you could see the flow. So I'd take that bit shorter, in other words.
And would there be more hair there on person?
So it wouldn't do that as much.
As much, yeah.
No, it's just because of these great big gaps that they're doing there, so it wouldn't have that much gap.
Yeah.
But if you do want to, if you ever do get a sort of problem like that, just literally go in at an angle and take some of that length from here. I'll do the same to the other side, and then it doesn't look as much of a gap, can you see? Because that's just stopping that off there. Right, so we should have now, I'm just going to bring this back a little bit. No, it's okay, I'll leave it. So we should have asymmetric, have we? Yes. So one side shorter than the other. Okay, at the moment. And then we need to layer this bit in the middle. So what time are we? 2. We've only got an hour and a half. Do you want me to finish the cut and then you go and do it all, or do you want to do this bit and then we tell you how to, pardon? Do this first?
I can finish it off.
I'm not bothered.
Finish the call.
What does everybody else?
Finish
off,
the card.
finish it off. Okay. So we've got half of it here. This is where you can start refining. If you want to go a little bit shorter here and you want to go shorter there, this is where you can refine it all. I'm just going to leave it for now and then I'll refine it afterwards. That's how I work really. So we need to bring this top bit down now. Okay. So we're going to put the parting in just for parting's sake at the moment, just so we know where it's going to be. Obviously this will hang over the top of it because these are the layers that we didn't layer before. So they should still be pretty much the same shape as the bob. So we're going to go with the parting, not too far over but just enough over. Alright, that you can see that it is different. So we need to cut these layers internally now. So what we do is we section, I'm just going to, I think the best way for me to show you this is to, right, so you assess your length here, so how much you're going to have to take off the top, okay, so you look at the length there, so for your layers we're going to have to take about that off, otherwise it's going to be hanging over the top of it.
Could you cut it to that length first?
You could do all this first now, you could continue,
Cut the length.
yeah, or you could do all this, you could go through and do all this,
Oh, right.
and then you could put your layers in if you wanted,
I was
which is
thinking,
fine while you're learning. Sorry, go on.
do you know, like, if you combed it all down like it was bottom, cut it like
Yeah.
a square bottom?
You could
kind
cut
of?
back to there now,
Yeah.
and then you could work
take
on
it
your
off.
layers.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do is cut the layers and then I might have a look at where we need
Yeah.
to refine it. So there's different ways of doing it and you've got to find out what suits you. Or you could continue up like that, and then cut your layers in the top. But I think we're going to cut the layers in the top now. All right, so I'm going to bring this back and just put that horseshoe back in it. Let's just have a look at that. That drop. It doesn't have to be perfect this, as long as this side will be easier because it's shorter. And then we're going to work through this top section. So I'm going to bring the horseshoe down at the back, but leave these up at the front now. I'll show you in a minute. I'll come around the front and show you. Okay, so I've taken that across the crown. I think we're right with that. All right. So we're going to start at the crown here. So that's your shortest layer underneath. We want this to be pretty short, so we're going to cut that as that is your guide. Not at 90, not quite at 90 degrees, just slightly off angle of 90 degrees. Okay, so we're going to lift it. I'll show you the angle. I'm going to cut it at. Okay. And then we're going to follow that around this head in your orange segments, lifting up and cut into that angle. Same. Cut to that angle. Is everyone all right with this angle?
Mm-hmm.
Because if I went at 90 degrees, I'm going to be cutting too much length off there. Can you see there? I want to retain a little bit of that length. So I've just angled my fingers a little bit. And then up. I am holding each section out on itself. Can you see?
So not back onto the guide line.
Pardon?
So not back onto the guide line.
No, straight out. Yeah. So you're getting like a mushroom kind of look, if you will. So it's going like that, like a question mark. And when you've dried it and you've got a little bit of volume in there, it'll just lift from there. So you create a bit of volume on the top really by putting these layers in. And do the same on this side.
Do you know how like the back's gonna dry like that with volume?
Yes.
Could you do that just for like a short haircut that wasn't asymmetric? You know, like that was saying where you
Yeah,
cut it?
yeah. So
Like,
this
just
is
have
how,
like short sides and maybe like volume on top
Yeah.
or something.
this is how I would
So
definitely.
you do it just the same.
Yes, the same as the
But
short
adapt
guide.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
And what we're going to do, it's the top that will. It's the size that you've adapted,
Yeah,
and the top's going to be. So we're going to go like that at the front,
yeah, so it falls.
rather than like that, so it'll fall longer on that side. So now we take this section and hold it straight out. You might decide even not to connect it in with the underneath. You might want a little bit of disconnection on the top to hang over the underneath bit once you finish, just to see. It's better just to dry it, then see, and then see if you need to connect it or personalise it anyway. So I've got that to get a bit of volume there. We've got our nice little question mark when it's dried. So it's the top section now. Okay, so you will stand from the back. I'm going to show you all this later. And you're going to work your way through this section. Now we're going to work our way through on an angle. So, I think I've got a diagram to show you, I'll have a look afterwards. We're going to go on a this is going to be your first section, and then we're going to go slightly on a diagonal across like that to the front, bringing each section back to here. And then I'm going to go over and do a diagonal that way, bringing each section back. And this is so that you get a messed up layer on the top rather than too regimented. So we'll do it step by step and then you can see. So I'm going to take from that corner, I'm going to do it this way first, from there to that corner. I'm going to bring that all the way back to the section before it, on the crown. But I'm over directing back. So as you're over directing back, it's going to get longer towards the front. So that's going to be one big section. I might have to take a small section so you can see the guideline.
Is that how you'd cut boy's hair?
Yeah.
Right on the top?
Yeah, it is. So can you see there, I've got my guide there, and I'm bringing that back to it here. Can you see how much I'm bringing it back? Bringing it back a lot. And you would, yeah, with the boy's hair, probably straight up rather than back.
Yeah.
Now I am going to point cut here, because I want to make it softer.
And would you do sections diagonally as well?
On a man's haircut, I am doing more. No, I wouldn't do that. So where I'm doing diagonally like that, I just do straight with a man. Unless they wanted kind of an overhanging fringe. If they wanted long. You know the fashion now with the guys where they're having it longer towards the front and like a bit of a quiff. Then you could do this with that.
Right.
Yeah. And then come down to your size. So that will happen. Can you see how you've got that longer bit? Because I'm only working on the top. So bring it in and do point cut it along it to blend it. And you should have one on that side as well, a little one. And then I'm going to go across here again and bring this one diagonally back. I'll draw it on there what I mean about diagonally after, and then you can see it, those who are not sure. And I'm bringing it all the way back to my guide here, right on the crown. You see how much I'm bringing it back? And then I'm going to point cut again.
Bring it all the way back, see it.
Yeah, and I've kind of scooped it as well to even give it a little bit more length. When we're doing the actual pixie cut, it'll be more straight like a boy's cut, really like a boy's cut. This is just so I can maintain more length at the front.
That when you keep the corner.
Yeah, with men you keep the corner.
I never get up and leave right. I'm actually in the corner.
Why it's not raining?
It depends. Some barbers are taught to keep the corner. When we're cutting a uniform layer, and when we're doing like a short to long like this, or a blend, a man's you should have corner there, where women's we teach us ripped around it off, don't we? But not, I don't cut things like that. I cut them round and I'll leave a bit of an edge in there because then it's not like bouffant on the sides. But I don't do a definite corner. But if you did barbering, they'd teach you to do it that way. We need corner, he'd tell us, wouldn't it? Okay, so I'm going to do this all the way to the front. Point cut into this back section. All the way to here. And then I should have a couple more. That should be done. Everybody asleep, yeah?
No.
In this warm atmosphere. Are you still cold, Faisy?
No. My feet and hands are cold, but my body is warm now.
Oh, that's good.
Jill, do you remember when we had that stand here?
Who, sorry?
We had like a stand here with like a picture of a woman with a blonde
Short, symmetric cut.
yeah, asymmetric cut.
Was there?
Yeah, there was. Usually standing right there.
not like.
Oh yeah.
There's a
She
picture.
does, yeah.
Was it silver her hair?
Yeah.
No, blonde.
Like peachy
Peachy.
colour. Peachy colour.
Peachy, like strawberry blonde.
Yeah, it was a well poster, wasn't it?
Yeah. I know.
Was it not the bowl shape? No.
No, it was like asymmetric. On one side longer.
It was quite thin hair as well, like quite fine.
Was it? I can only remember like a silvery one. Anyway, what are you going to ask me?
I was wondering where is it because I want to the picture because I want my hair similar kind of hairstyle.
You know, I don't know. We'll ask,
Okay.
but we'll ask dispensary because they might have
Okay.
moved it. Right, so we need to go now back and do the same on the opposite side. So I've gone like that. So I've gone like that on a diagonal, on that
Yeah.
angle. I'm going that angle on this side. All right, to cross check it. So I'm just gonna.
Would that not destroy some of the layers?
It's not good. What it'll do is it doesn't destroy them. Because you're going. In effect, you're doing that.
Yeah.
So what it'll do is it just makes them a little bit hibbly-pobbly, if you will. That sounds not a good word, that, but a little bit like, so it's not regimented, the softer. But you should still be able to find a guideline. So here, we've got the guide.
Yeah.
So we should go across that way now. It deconstructs it really a little bit. You know, it takes off the harshness of it being so. So when I'm coming back now, it's still, there's not much to cut.
Okay.
It's just, I suppose it's a way of cross-checking, but also to make sure that you're not doing it as a uniform layer.
Okay.
But I am going to, in a minute, have to take some off this side because this side's pretty short. So I'm going to come over here. You see there's not much to take off now because I took it off all that way really. There's just little bits of where we need to get it to blend a bit. And if I was to cross-check this towards the front, it should go longer towards the front. It should kind of come to that shape on the top. Okay, so let's have a look at that now.
That looked like the same angle to me.
Pardon?
It looked like the same angle
Yeah.
to me.
When you were pulling that back,
Yeah.
it was like, it's kind of, your hands are the same angle, but your sections are the ones that are different.
So the sectioning was which way and then the other.
I'll draw it on there to
Yeah.
make it be easy for you to
Yeah.
understand in a minute. Right, so, this is where now, you know how you said that parting was further over right at the beginning? You said, yeah. So this is where now you to decide, so there are some longer bits in there, so you have to decide, do you want to keep it like that so that it'll come down, or do you want to, because that was like what she had really, a bit like this, and then, because when that's dry, it's hard on these dolls. On these dolls, when it's dry, this will have the volume, and that's the flatter side. And then what you do is your fringe, you cut it over here, and then you get your sweeping fringe, which I'll show you in a minute. So you've got your layers in there, you've got your length there. I think what we'll do is we'll just keep it sweeping over at the moment, we'll dry them, and then we'll personalise them. So you know, like there you think, oh, I want to get rid of that long bit. We'll just literally get hold of it, and cut that in with it, where we see where it's falling. If you want it to connect, as in on the top as well, you can't use you've got to use a steeper handle, you've got to go at that angle, because then that will keep a bit of that length from there. Otherwise, you are going to have a bit of a disconnection on that side. Which is good if you do, because that's just going to get part of your assessment criteria, isn't it? Disconnection and asymmetric together. Okay. So I'm just going to count that in. On a real person, I would be now perhaps using a razor. I'll be perhaps cutting into that now, texturising it. When it's all dry, I'll probably do all that just to soften it off and get rid of some of the bulk. Now on this fringe, so you'll find the shorter bit on the fringe, which should be, let's find you. Yeah, It's coming from here. So you're going to come from there, decide what length you want it to be. So can you see that's the shortest bit there of the layer? I'm going to do the shortest bit will connect there. So the shortest bit of my fringe will be from the shortest bit of the hair on the sides. Okay, you do it on an angle. So, and you do it in sections, 1, 2, 3, might need 4. Okay, so I'm going to pull this over to this side. I've already established that I want it to be starting from about there. Again, you can slice or you can point cut this bit. Alright, I'm eating my own hair. Okay, so we've got to point cut up to the shortest bit.
This is for like the fringe.
This is for the fringe, so this will give you like a sweeping fringe. You can do a little disconnected fringe if you want, but these dolls don't really do well with disconnected fringes. Bring it back to the part in here, and then bring it back, and you're standing on this side, and use your guideline that you put in there already, and the angle that you've got. All the way up to there. Just connecting it in with that. And then to about halfway on the head. You wouldn't do this with a normal fringe, you'd just do a little triangle at the front, but because we're cutting it and we're wanting it to be swept, we're going back to just before the crown and bringing it over
So
to
it's
here.
just for the sweeping fringe.
Yes, and if you're doing it with the layers, if you want the layers sweeping as well. If you don't want the layers sweeping as well, you just want it from the front, you just do it from 2 or 3 sections up on a little triangle.
How would you put these sections? Now that you're taking these, going to go all the way back to the
So they're there,
all the way back to the back of the section.
to there. When I look if you want, there.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the back of that section.
Yeah, to there. If you were doing it on somebody with long hair, and it was just the fringe they wanted doing, you'd just literally take a triangle there
Yeah.
on the front. But because we're doing it with the layers and wanting it sweeping, we're going back to before the crown.
Right, and then with that, if they didn't want the sweeping fringe, how would you put this? Just going back on a...
You'd just literally, you'd have to just
Same as
literally put it
before.
separately, your fringe.
It's just a better.
So can you see you get more of a sweeping fringe with that now?
It seems like.
If you wanted it shorter, you'd just cut it shorter. A lot of this is, you've got to follow the pattern,